This is the story of what happened on October 12th inside the cardiac intensive care unit of St. Jude's Medical Center. The incident involved Dr. Elias Cole, the hospital's chief of cardiothoracic surgery and a nationally renowned specialist, and Officer Frank Dalton of the City Police Department. At approximately 2:15 p.m., while Dr. Cole was conducting his post-operative rounds, Officer Dalton detained him, accusing him of trespassing in a restricted area and impersonating a physician. Despite Dr. Cole's calm attempts to de-escalate and identify himself, Officer Dalton physically assaulted him, attempting to place him in handcuffs against a sterile corridor wall. The confrontation, captured on the officer's body camera and the phones of several shocked hospital staff members, ended only when the full weight of Dr. Cole's professional and federal standing was revealed, triggering an immediate and catastrophic collapse of the officer's authority and career. The timestamp on the bodycam footage flickers into view: 14 hours, 13 minutes, and 2 seconds. The lens jerks left and right, capturing the polished linoleum floors and the hushed, sterile ambience of the surgical wing. The audio is muffled at first, the sound of heavy, rhythmic breathing and the jangle of equipment on a duty belt. Officer Frank Dalton's voice cuts through the quiet. "Dispatch, show me arriving at St. Jude's, 4th floor, SICU." Responding to a 415, suspicious individual, a calm, female voice crackles back. "Copy that, 3 Adam, 12. 4th floor, SICU." The camera pushes through a set of double doors marked "Restricted Access." Authorized personnel only inside. The world is a symphony of quiet beeps and the soft hiss of ventilators. Nurses in blue scrubs move with practiced efficiency, their faces etched with the focused calm that defines their profession. Dalton's gaze sweeps the hallway, his posture a stark, aggressive contrast to the healing environment. He sees him then, a black man, tall and lean, standing outside ICU Bay 4. He's wearing dark gray, high-end scrubs, a stethoscope draped around his neck. His head is bowed, his attention fixed on the digital chart in his hand. He makes a small notation with a stylus, his brow furrowed in concentration. This is Dr. Elias Cole. He has just spent 9 hours standing over a patient's open chest, meticulously rerouting the very pathways of life. The patient, a man of considerable public importance, is now stable in the room before him. Dr. Cole is reviewing the post-op vitals, his mind a complex map of blood oxygen levels, heart rhythms, and medication titrations. He is exhausted, but a deep, quiet satisfaction hums beneath the fatigue. He doesn't hear the heavy footsteps approaching until a shadow falls over his tablet. The word is sharp, a shard of glass in the quiet hall. Dr. Cole looks up, his eyes adjusting from the screen's glow. He sees a police officer, hand resting on the grip of his holstered firearm. The officer's face is a mask of stern suspicion. "Show me your hands." Slowly, Dr. Cole blinks, processing the command. It's so out of place, so jarring, that for a moment he thinks it must be for someone else. He glances down the empty corridor. No one. The officer is speaking to him. He slowly raises his hands, the tablet still clutched in one. "Is there a problem, officer?" he asks, his voice low and steady, the same tone he uses to reassure a patient's terrified family. "There is now," Dalton grunts, stepping closer, invading his personal space. The bodycam lens zooms in on Dr. Cole's face. "This is a restricted area. What are you doing here?" The accusation hangs in the air, thick and ugly. A nearby nurse, checking a medication card, freezes. Her eyes widen. Dr. Cole maintains his composure, though a cold knot is tightening in his stomach. He's been here before, in different settings, with different uniforms. The script is always the same. "I work here," he says simply. "I'm Dr. Cole. I'm just checking on my patient." Dalton lets out a short, derisive laugh. "Dr. Cole? Right. And I'm the mayor. Let's see some identification. Hospital ID. Now, it's in my office," Dr. Cole replies, keeping his hands raised. "I came straight from the OR. My locker and my office are on the 2nd floor. I can have any of these nurses verify who I am." He gestures with his head toward the nurse at the cart, who is now staring openly, her hand hovering over the phone in her pocket. "Ma'am." Dalton barks at her, not taking his eyes off Dr. Cole. "Get back to your station. This doesn't concern you." The nurse flinches, but holds her ground. "Officer, with all due respect, that is Dr. Elias Cole. He's our chief of cardiothoracic surgery. Dalton's eyes narrow into slits. He sees her intervention not as clarification, but as an obstacle, a conspiracy. I said, get back to your station, or you'll be sitting in the back of my car for obstructing an investigation. The threat works. The nurse hesitates, torn between her duty to protect a colleague and her fear of the armed man in front of her. She takes a reluctant step back, her face a storm of anxiety. Dalton turns his full, venomous attention back to the doctor. No ID. In a restricted area. You fit the description perfectly. What description? Dr. Cole asks, the question sharp and precise as a scalpel. Suspicious male. Loitering. That's all I need. The word suspicious is layered with unspoken meaning, and they both know it. It's a proxy, a catch-all for a bias as old as the country itself. The officer takes another step forward, his hand moving from his gun to his handcuffs. The metallic click of the cuffs opening echoes in the silent hallway. You're coming with me, Dalton says, his voice laced with triumph. We'll sort out your story down at the station. It's in this moment that the encounter shifts from a misunderstanding to an assault. Dalton reaches out and grabs Dr. Cole's right arm, his grip hard and unforgiving. Dr. Cole doesn't flinch, but a fire ignites behind his calm eyes. Officer, he says, his voice dropping, becoming dangerously quiet. Take your hand off me. You are in a sterile environment. You are interfering with patient care, and you are now committing battery. Dalton scoffs, yanking on the arm. You want to talk about battery? I'll show you battery. Turn around. Hands behind your back. He tries to force Dr. Cole toward the wall, next to a biohazard disposal unit. The body cam shows the doctor's feet remaining planted, his body resisting the shove with the immovable strength of quiet conviction. I will not, Dr. Cole states, not as a challenge, but as a fact. You have no probable cause for this arrest. I have identified myself, and my identity has been corroborated by hospital staff. Continuing this course of action is illegal. Dalton's face, visible in the reflection of a nearby window, is turning a blotchy red. The calm, legalistic language is infuriating him more than any physical resistance ever could. It's a language he doesn't fully command, and it makes him feel weak. So he resorts to the tools he understands. Force. You think you're so smart? You think you can talk your way out of this? Who do you think you are? He snarls, shoving Dr. Cole hard against the wall. The impact makes the doctor's head knock against the plaster, and the tablet clatters to the floor. A patient's family member, a woman who had been sleeping in a waiting chair, is now on her feet, her phone up and recording. The nurse has her phone out too. The silent witnesses are no longer silent. Their lenses are watching. The bitter irony of the officer's question, who do you think you are, settles in the air. Dr. Cole takes a slow, deliberate breath, the scent of antiseptic filling his lungs. He pushes himself off the wall, not with aggression, but with an undeniable assertion of his space. He looks Officer Dalton directly in the eye. The exhaustion is gone from his face, replaced by something cold and hard as steel. You asked who I am, officer. Let's clarify. He speaks with the chilling precision of a surgeon dictating a final, critical report. My name is Dr. Elias Cole. I am, as the nurse told you, the chief of cardiothoracic surgery at this hospital and a fellow of the American College of Surgeons. The man in that room, he gestures to ICU Bay 4, is United States Senator James Albright. I have just spent the last 9 hours of my life performing a quadruple bypass on him. His security detail, 2 very serious men from the U.S. Capitol Police, is sitting in the family consultation room 2 doors down. They are monitoring a live feed of his vitals, and I assure you they have been alerted to the disturbance in this hallway. Officer Dalton's sneer begins to falter. The name drops are too specific, too heavy, but he's in too deep to back down. You're a liar, he hisses, though the conviction in his voice has evaporated. You're just trying to scare me. I'm not finished. Dr. Cole continues, his voice unwavering. In addition to my medical duties, I serve as a forensic pathology consultant. My official title is Special Government Employee, and I am a sworn expert witness for the United States Department of Justice, Civil Rights Division. He pauses, letting the words sink in. I investigate cases just like this one. Cases of misconduct, excessive force, and racial profiling by law enforcement. My credentials, including my federal identification, are in my locker. They grant me clearance that far exceeds your own. So, When I tell you to take your hand off my arm, it is not a request. It is an order from a federal agent to a municipal officer who is currently compromising a federal asset and committing multiple felonies on camera. The silence that follows is absolute. It is heavier than the grief that so often fills these halls, more profound than the quiet between heartbeats. The bodycam footage shows Dalton's face has gone completely pale, a waxy, sickly white. His grip on Dr. Cole's arm, once a vice, is now as weak as a child's. His mouth opens and closes, but no sound comes out. The entire power dynamic has not just shifted, it has been inverted with the force of a tectonic plate. The man he was manhandling, the suspicious trespasser, was not just a doctor. He was an integral part of the very system Dalton served, but on a level the street cop could barely comprehend. In that moment, Officer Dalton sees his career, his pension, and his freedom spiraling away from him. The nurse, seeing her chance, speaks up, her voice clear and strong. I've already paged hospital security and the administrator on duty. Right on cue, a pair of heavy doors at the end of the hall burst open. 2 hospital security guards, followed by a woman in a business suit, the hospital administrator, Ms. Evans, are striding toward them. Their faces are grim, but they are not the only arrivals. From the other direction, from the family consultation room, emerge 2 men in dark, impeccably tailored suits. They don't walk, they glide. Their eyes are like chips of ice, scanning the scene, assessing threats. They are the senator's security detail, and they move with the lethal grace of apex predators. One of them looks at Dr. Cole, a flicker of recognition and concern in his eyes. Dr. Cole? Is there a problem? Dr. Cole finally pulls his arm free from Dalton's now limp grasp. He rubs his wrist, his expression unreadable. This officer was just explaining his department's protocols for interacting with medical staff and federal consultants. He says, the irony in his voice sharp enough to cut. The hospital administrator, Ms. Evans, arrives, her face a mask of controlled fury. She looks from Dr. Cole to the disheveled, panicked officer, to the 2 federal agents now flanking them. What in God's name is going on here? She demands, her voice low and dangerous. Officer Dalton was just about to arrest our chief of surgery. The nurse supplies, stepping forward, her phone still recording. Dalton finally finds his voice, but it's a reedy, pathetic thing. He wouldn't show me any ID. He fit the description. I was just following procedure. Ms. Evans turns on him, her eyes blazing. Procedure? Your procedure is to assault a senior physician in the middle of the SICU, outside the room of a United States senator? Are you insane? The chief of hospital security, a burly ex-cop named Henderson, steps between Dalton and Dr. Cole, creating a physical barrier. He knows exactly how catastrophic this is. Officer, Henderson says, his voice a low rumble. You need to step back? Now, give me your badge number, Dalton stammers. It's 724-inch, the lead federal agent speaks, his voice devoid of any emotion. Officer Dalton, badge 724. You are to remain here. Do not move. Do not speak to anyone. Your supervisor is on their way. We've already made the call. The finality in his tone is absolute. It's not a suggestion, it's a statement of fact. The situation is no longer in Dalton's hands, or even the hospital's. It has escalated to a level where city cops are simply pawns. The bodycam footage shakes as Dalton takes an involuntary step back. His world is collapsing in real time. He looks at Dr. Cole, who is now calmly picking up his tablet from the floor, checking to see if the screen is cracked. The doctor doesn't even glance at him. To Dr. Cole, Officer Dalton is no longer a threat. He is simply evidence. A police supervisor, a lieutenant named Corrigan, arrives less than 10 minutes later. He's a veteran with weary eyes who has seen everything, but the scene that greets him makes his stomach clench. He sees his officer, pale and sweating. He sees the furious hospital administrator, the stone-faced head of security, 2 federal agents who look like they could kill him with a thumb, and the calm, imposing figure of the black doctor at the center of it all. Corrigan knows, before a single word is spoken, that this is a career-ending disaster. What the hell happened here, Frank? Corrigan asks, keeping his voice low, but the bodycam microphone picks it up clearly. Dalton starts to babble, a panicked stream of half-excuses and justifications. Sir, I had a call. Suspicious individual. He wouldn't cooperate. Claimed he was a doctor, He didn't claim to be a doctor, Lieutenant. Ms. Evans cuts in, her voice sharp. He is a doctor. He is the preeminent cardiothoracic surgeon in this state. And your officer assaulted him. The senior federal agent steps forward. Lieutenant Corrigan, my name is Agent Foster. This incident is now a matter of federal interest due to the proximity to our protectee and the status of Dr. Cole. Officer Dalton's body camera and any other recordings are now considered evidence. He will be turning them over. He will be surrendering his firearm. He will be placed on administrative leave pending a full investigation. Is that understood? Corrigan just nods, his face grim. He looks at Dalton with a mixture of anger and pity. Frank, give me your weapon. Give me the camera. Dalton's hands tremble as he unholsters his Glock and hands it over. But first, he fumbles with the clip on his vest, detaching the body camera and handing it to his superior. He has been stripped of his authority, symbolically and literally, in the same hallway where he had tried to strip a man of his dignity. Dr. Cole, having confirmed his tablet is undamaged, finally looks at the lieutenant. Lieutenant, he says, his voice calm and measured. I will be requiring a copy of the full, unedited incident report, as well as this officer's complete service record, including any and all prior complaints of misconduct. I trust you will have your department's legal counsel forward those to my attorney by the end of the day. Corrigan pales slightly. The phrase my attorney from a man of this stature is not a threat. It's a promise of a long and costly legal battle the city cannot win. Yes, doctor. Of course. He then turns to his disgraced officer. Frank, go wait in the car. Don't talk to anyone. As Dalton shuffles away, a defeated man, Dr. Cole turns to Ms. Evans. Please accept my apologies for the disruption, Amelia. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a patient to check on, and with that, he turns and walks into ICU Bay 4, leaving the chaos behind him, his focus already back on the life he had saved. The fallout is immediate and brutal. Within hours, the story, fueled by the leaked cell phone videos, is the lead item on every local news channel. By the next morning, it's a national headline. Renowned surgeon assaulted, detained by police in his own hospital. The police department's PR machine goes into overdrive, issuing a vague statement about an ongoing internal investigation and promising full transparency, but the video evidence is too damning, the victim too unimpeachable. The public outcry is deafening. Dr. Cole's attorneys, from one of the country's top civil rights firms, file a lawsuit 2 days later. The filing is a masterwork of legal devastation. It names Officer Frank Dalton, Lieutenant Corrigan, the police chief, and the city itself as defendants. The charges include assault, battery, false imprisonment, intentional infliction of emotional distress, and, most significantly, a violation of Dr. Cole's 4th and 14th Amendment rights under Section 1983 of the Civil Rights Act. The suit details a pattern of behavior, citing 6 prior complaints of excessive force and racial bias against Officer Dalton, all of which had been dismissed internally with nothing more than a note in his file. The lawsuit seeks $15 million in damages. The city's lawyers know it's a losing battle. The evidence is irrefutable. The optics are a nightmare. They try to settle quickly, quietly. Dr. Cole refuses. He wants more than money. He wants accountability. He gives a single, brief press conference on the steps of the hospital. He stands there, not in a suit, but in his surgical scrubs, a symbol of his service. This was not about me, he says, his voice resonating with quiet power. I was fortunate. I had the credentials, the status, and the resources to defend myself. But this happens every day to people who do not. It happens to men and women who are not chiefs of surgery, who do not have the Department of Justice on speed dial. It happens to them in their cars, on their streets, and in their homes. And their stories are too often disbelieved or ignored. He announces that any and all proceeds from the lawsuit will be used to establish 2 things. The Dr. Elias Cole Foundation for Medical Equity, a scholarship fund to help minority students attend medical school, and a civilian-led police oversight commission with real subpoena power. He is not just suing for himself. He is suing to change the system. Faced with a public relations apocalypse and a legal case they cannot win, the city caves. Officer Frank Dalton is fired, his termination effective immediately. The police chief issues a televised, personal apology to Dr. Cole and the community. The city council fast-tracks the creation of the Civilian Oversight Commission Dr. Cole demanded, and they settle the lawsuit for the full $15 million. The final scene is not one of courtroom drama or press conferences. It is 6 months later, back in the quiet, sterile hallway of the St. Jude's SICU. Dr. Cole stands outside another room, reviewing another chart on his tablet. He is wearing the same dark gray scrubs, the same stethoscope around his neck. He looks tired, but focused. A young resident, a black woman who is the first recipient of his new scholarship, stands beside him, listening intently as he explains the nuances of a patient's recovery. He is doing what he has always done: healing, teaching, and leading by example. The vindication wasn't in the firing of one bad officer or the winning of a lawsuit. It was in the quiet, unshakable truth of his own excellence. It was in his refusal to be diminished, his insistence on being seen for who he was, not what a prejudiced officer imagined him to be. He had faced down ignorance and hate with intellect and integrity, and in doing so, had not only saved his own dignity, but had also forged a new path for others to follow. The beeping of the heart monitor in the nearby room is steady and strong, a testament to his skill, and a quiet reminder that in the end, his work, his life, spoke for itself.